News broke about both of these two players not being ready to go for the rest of the season. They will be sitting out. We will not see them until 2026. And who even knows if either one of these players will remain on the team next year. Now, with that being said, what is Caitlin Clark update? I've been pretty adamant about this. I don't think Caitlin Clark is coming back until the mid to end of August, which means that we still got a lot of basketball to be played. And we got a lot of T's to dot, I's to cross. And I'm telling you right now, it ain't looking good for the point guard position.
The Indiana Fever faces a significant roster challenge that threatens their playoff aspirations as multiple key injuries create a critical shortage at the point guard position. The organization finds itself in a precarious situation reminiscent of their earlier struggles during June when backcourt depth became a primary concern. Recent injury reports confirmed devastating news regarding two crucial players. Ari McDonald, who had emerged as a vital contributor to the team's success, will remain sidelined for the entire remainder of the season due to a fractured bone in her right foot sustained during the fourth quarter of their recent contest. Her impact on the franchise cannot be understated, as she provided essential leadership and playmaking abilities that stabilized their offense during Caitlin Clark's absence. Compounding this setback, backup point guard Sydney Colson suffered a complete anterior cruciate ligament tear in her left knee during the opening quarter of the same game.
And I'm telling you right now, it ain't looking good for the point guard position. A lot of people were saying Caitlin Clark just shouldn't even come back. Now, there's a few women that is still available. They happen to already been part of the system. That is a Bree Hall, and then even Grace Berger. Now, we know Grace Berger's was let go by the Minnesota Lynx. Grace Berger is not familiar with the Stephanie White system because she come in and be a plug-and-play piece. See, that's what they need, a plug-and-play piece, but somebody that can go out there and get their own buckets. Now, Bree Hall had a layup situation and a shooting situation. I don't know if
the non-contact nature of her injury adds another layer of concern for the medical staff and coaching personnel. Both players face extended rehabilitation periods that will extend well into 2026, raising questions about their future with the organization. The timing of these injuries proves particularly problematic given Caitlin Clark's ongoing recovery timeline. Medical projections suggest Clark's return may not occur until mid to late August, leaving significant gaps in the team's backcourt rotation during crucial playoff positioning games. This extended absence forces the coaching staff to explore alternative solutions while maintaining competitive standards. League regulations present additional complications for immediate roster reinforcement.
Situation and a shooting situation. I don't know if Bree Hall will be the best fit for the team as of right now, the way they play and the style of play. Now, granted, she had some tangibles here and there, but I feel like Grace Berger will be a better fit over Bree Hall if you're talking about somebody that can go get their own buckets. Now, news broke about the Indiana Fever not being able to get a hardship player on X yesterday. Alexa with ESPN actually broke the story, and Richard Cohen reacted to it. Alexa said, due to the league rules, the Fever won't.
According to ESPN reporting, specific WNBA rules prevent the Fever from signing hardship replacement players until after their upcoming matchup against Chicago Sky. This restriction leaves the team with only 9 available players for the contest, creating an unprecedented depth crisis. The mathematical reality proves stark when considering standard basketball operations. With 5 starting positions requiring coverage and only 9 total roster spots filled, the bench essentially disappears for this critical game. Fresh legs and rotational flexibility become luxuries the team cannot afford against opponents who maintain full rosters. 2 potential candidates remain available for future consideration once league restrictions lift.
Reacted to it, Alexa said, due to the league rules, the Fever won't be able to sign a hardship player until after tomorrow game against the Chicago Sky. They will have 9 players available for the contest. Damn, dog. Mind you guys, there's 5 starting players on the basketball team, man. You got 5 starting players. The Indiana Fever only have 9 total players on their damn roster, bro. So that means they'll essentially have no bench. They ain't got no bench this game. Now, we know they've been beating the sleeves.
Grace Berger presents an intriguing option despite her recent release from Minnesota Lynx. Her unfamiliarity with head coach Stephanie White's system creates integration challenges, though her ability to create individual scoring opportunities could prove valuable given current circumstances. Alternatively, Bree Hall remains unsigned but brings concerns about shooting consistency and finishing ability around the basket. While she possesses certain skill sets that might complement existing personnel, questions persist about whether her playing style aligns with the team's current offensive philosophy and pace of play. Chicago Sky, despite their poor record in head-to-head matchups this season, enters the upcoming contest with significant advantages in terms of roster depth and fresh legs. Haley Van Lith's recent practice intensity suggests preparation for an opportunity to exploit Indiana's limited rotation.
Have no bench. They ain't got no bench this game. Now, we know they've been beating the sleeves off the Chicago Sky since forever and a day now, and I'm here to tell you that might not be the case again moving forward because, well, with tonight's game, not to say that they're going to lose, but they playing with 9 damn players. I mean, it's going to be fresh bodies everywhere for the Chicago Sky. And the way Haley Van Leaf stayed after last game shooting shots, she's coming with vengeance. I'm telling you right now. Now, Richard Cohen stated the Fever could also just waive one or both players. They'll be.
The historical dominance Indiana has enjoyed in this series may face its greatest test given current personnel limitations. Financial considerations add complexity to potential roster moves. The organization maintains approximately $95,000 in remaining salary cap space, providing flexibility to address immediate needs. However, releasing injured players creates negative publicity concerns and potential morale issues within the locker room, despite the financial feasibility of such decisions. Expansion draft implications further complicate decision-making processes. Waiving players eliminates any protection rights the organization might otherwise maintain, potentially impacting long-term roster construction strategies.
They'll be paying them out in full either way. With over $95K in cap space remaining, they have room to take the hit and fill both spots the rest of the season deals, but may not want the PR of immediately cutting injured players. So, yeah, they could cut. So basically, they could cut Sid Colson and Ari McDonald. I don't know why I keep trying to say Bree Hall.
These considerations must balance against immediate competitive needs as playoff positioning becomes increasingly important. 2 distinct types of hardship contracts exist within league regulations, creating confusion among observers and media personnel. Emergency hardship rules differ significantly from standard hardship provisions, with varying qualification requirements and implementation timelines. The complexity of these regulations highlights areas requiring clarification in future collective bargaining negotiations. The current situation represents perhaps the most challenging roster crisis the franchise has faced during their competitive window. Multiple simultaneous injuries to the same position group, combined with pre-existing absences, create a perfect storm of circumstances that test organizational depth and adaptability.
Ari McDonald. I don't know why I keep trying to say Bree Hall. Somebody said if they waive now, is there any possibility of protecting them in the expansion draft? Nope. No would be giving up any rights. Yeah, they'll be giving away all their rights to it. People are confusing hardship contract with emergency hardships. There are 2 types of different rules, comments about having to miss 2 games, etc. First or not requirements under the emergency hardship. Only requirements is team less than 10 available.
Front office leadership faces immense pressure to identify viable solutions while maintaining playoff aspirations. The decision-making process must consider immediate competitive needs against long-term roster construction and financial implications. Success or failure in addressing these challenges could determine the trajectory of the entire season. Previous opportunities to address backcourt depth through free agency or trades now appear increasingly valuable in hindsight. The competitive landscape continues evolving as other organizations capitalize on available talent while Indiana navigates current restrictions and limitations.
This is team less than 10 available. Then Richard Cohen went on to say, went too fast. Unfortunately, for avoiding confusion, the rules for hardships are also more extensive than those that are public with the CBA. It's one of the many minor things I hope to clean up next CBA after they argue. So, guys, it's looking real spooky. I just got to be honest, man. This whole hardship situation is looking spooky. And as of right now, if you didn't
Coach White's media availability before the Chicago game will likely focus heavily on roster management strategies and philosophical approaches to managing limited personnel. Her responses may provide insight into both short-term tactical adjustments and longer-term organizational planning. The situation demands creative solutions from both coaching staff and front office personnel. Positional flexibility from existing players, modified defensive schemes, and adjusted rotation patterns may become necessary adaptations during this challenging period. Playoff implications loom large as every game gains increased significance with limited margin for error.
On the season without these wins against the Sky. Look, they ended up finally pulling away. I thought this game was too close for too freaking long tonight. Seriously. The Chicago Sky they've got no horses in the race right now. Angel Reese is still out with a back injury. Nobody knows what's going on there exactly. They just have
The team's ability to maintain competitive standards despite personnel limitations will ultimately determine whether this crisis becomes a temporary setback or a season-defining catastrophe. The organization's response to these challenges will test both their immediate problem-solving capabilities and their long-term commitment to competitive excellence. Success in navigating this crisis could strengthen team culture and resilience, while failure might necessitate broader organizational evaluation and restructuring. The Indiana Fever secured another victory over the Chicago Sky in what many considered a game that required significant patience to endure. The Sky franchise continues to struggle severely this season, presenting minimal competitive challenge to their opponents.
What's going on there exactly? They've got no offensive firepower at all. Cardoso got benched. I can't even tell you, maybe in the third quarter at some point. Ariel Atkins not even involved. Indiana Fever. Well, the rumors of Lexi Hull's demise greatly exaggerated. She showed up tonight, and she showed up big. 4 of 6 from three-point range. Basically ended the game with 1-2.
Statistical analysis reveals that 4 of the Fever's seasonal victories have come against this particular Chicago team. Removing these matchups would leave Indiana with a 14-14 record, highlighting the importance of these contests against weaker opposition for their overall standing. The game remained closer than expected for extended periods, creating frustration among observers who anticipated easier dominance. Chicago currently lacks substantial talent across their roster, particularly with Angel Reese sidelined due to back complications. The team shows virtually no offensive capabilities in her absence.
From three-point range, basically ended the game with 1-2. 17 points, 3 steals, 3 assists, 3 rebounds. Natasha Howard, 10 rebounds, 7 points. Aaliyah Boston, 7 of 11. 4 boards, 3 assists, 15 points. Kelsey Mitchell had a nice game. I can't act like she didn't. 9 of 18. 26 points. And look, let me shout out Kelsey for the 8 assists tonight. Seriously good stuff.
Key Chicago players underperformed significantly during the contest. Cardoso found herself benched at some point during the third period, while Ariel Atkins remained largely invisible throughout the game's duration. The Sky's offensive struggles became apparent as they failed to generate consistent scoring opportunities. Indiana's performance featured several standout individual efforts. Lexi Hull silenced critics with an impressive showing, connecting on 4 of 6 three-point attempts while contributing 17 points, 3 steals, 3 assists, and 3 rebounds.
Okay, very good stuff. Sophie Cunningham tonight. 5 of 10, 3 of 6 from three-point range, 3 boards, 2 assists, 1 steal, 16 points. I mean, it was a must-have kind of win. They should have won this game. There's not a world where this game should ever be competitive. It was pretty competitive up closing in on half.
Her shooting accuracy proved crucial in establishing momentum. Natasha Howard dominated the boards with 10 rebounds while adding 7 points to the scoring effort. Aaliyah Boston demonstrated efficiency by shooting 7 of 11 from the field, finishing with 15 points, 4 rebounds, and 3 assists. Her consistent production helped maintain pressure on Chicago's defense. Kelsey Mitchell delivered a solid performance with 26 points on 9 of 18 shooting, complemented by 8 assists that showcased improved playmaking abilities.
Closing in on halftime, but after that, after they came out, they started pulling away. Boy, there's a lack of talent on this team. And, you know, I put up a poll about Kennedy Carter. Boy, if any team ever needed Kennedy Carter right now, it'd be the Chicago Sky. They've got no offensive dogs at all. None. So, showing up to the arena tonight, how about some Sophie Cunningham, folks? Yeah.
Her dual contribution of scoring and distribution proved valuable in controlling game tempo. Sophie Cunningham contributed meaningfully with 16 points on 5 of 10 shooting, including 3 of 6 from beyond the arc. She also grabbed 3 rebounds, provided 2 assists, and recorded 1 steal, demonstrating well-rounded impact across multiple statistical categories. The victory appeared necessary given the talent disparity between these organizations. No reasonable scenario should have allowed this contest to remain competitive for extended periods.
Tonight, how about some Sophie Cunningham, folks? Yeah. Arriving for the game. Sophie Cunningham. So, right here, let's just start right here. I believe this is going to be Lexi Hull coming down the court. Kelsey over to Lexi. Boom. Caitlin Clark loves this one. Right there. Yeah, fired up for her homegirl, Lexi Hull, who's been struggling with her shot.
Chicago's current roster construction lacks the offensive weapons needed to challenge quality opponents consistently. After halftime adjustments, Indiana began establishing meaningful separation on the scoreboard. The talent gap became increasingly apparent as the Sky struggled to match their opponents' depth and execution in crucial moments. Current roster concerns for Chicago include their complete absence of reliable offensive threats. The organization desperately needs players capable of creating scoring opportunities consistently.
For her homegirl, Lexi Hull, who's been struggling with her shot, no doubt about it. Later in the game,
8 seconds left.
let's run it. Kelsey right here, she gonna drive with a nice little floater. That's good stuff. That is very good stuff indeed. How about Lexi Hull right here? This is gonna be the and one. All right. The and one. Let's watch it. Lexi's going to drive in. Throws the ball up.
Their current personnel cannot generate sufficient firepower to compete effectively. Notable attendees included Ariel McDonald, who observed the game from courtside seating. Sydney Colson was notably absent from the venue, reflecting the ongoing personnel challenges facing both organizations regarding available players. Speculation suggests Caitlin Clark might return to action on Tuesday, though official confirmation remains pending. Her potential return becomes increasingly important as approximately 1 month remains in the regular season schedule.
Gets the foul and one, and they were pulling away at that point. It was a 13-point game after that score. Let's just check it out right here. Sophie Cunningham.
Down the rebound, though.
And those extra
Boom. And I still don't know why the screen does that. But that was, let's see if I can run it back one more time.
Down the rebound, though.
And those extra efforts by Lexi Hull.
Playoff preparation requires adequate time for key players to regain game rhythm and team chemistry. Extended absences create challenges when attempting to integrate star players back into established rotations and offensive systems. Current championship prospects for Indiana appear limited despite recent victories. The roster construction may not possess the necessary depth and talent distribution required for sustained postseason success. Multiple injuries have depleted available options significantly.